Is AI taking your job? We've all seen LinkedIn posts like this. I replaced my entire company with AI agent. I laid off my entire team and replaced them with AI tools, right? We've all seen one variation or the other of posts like this. Well, in my opinion, I feel this is very short-sighted, right? So I've came across recently a paper called Robots at Work. And it's a recent paper. It's a 2018 paper. And it discusses the impact of robots adoption by firms, right? On a lot of aspects, economical, on the consumer, and also on the employees. And if you're asking me, hey, Sarah, what does robots have to do with AI? It is a similar revolution, right? And history tends to repeat itself. And if you know that the robot's adoption had an impact similar to the introduction of steam engines, right, which changed the world, you can imagine how this can be actually compared to the AI revolution we're going through right now. So the paper actually is very interesting, and I'm going to link to it in the description. And I've also written about it in my newsletter. So the paper discusses robots at work as actual robotic industrial arms, right? And they found, obviously, and I don't think anyone's surprised, yes, when you introduce robots, there is a massive productivity gain, right? And I want you to, every time I say robots, replace that with AI. And then diminishing returns. So do you see this graph? This is basically what diminishing returns means. So they introduced 10 robots, they've seen an increase in productivity. They introduced 10 more robots, they see an additional increase in productivity. And then increasing 10 more robots is not going to get you even more productivity. And that's how you can think about AI as well. Using AI for a task, yes, increase in productivity. Using AI for two tasks, yes, massive increase in productivity. And then you'll reach a point where if you introduce more AI, you're not going to get more productivity. So, in my opinion, this is the point where you have an efficient mix of humans working with AI. And then here is where it gets interesting. We all know, obviously, robots adoption in firms definitely caused people to lose their jobs. However, when you look at the bigger picture, no overall job loss, meaning people sort of relocated from one job to the other, right? So overall, we cannot say that the entire population, for example, let's say there were 10,000 opportunities, and after we introduced robots, there were 6,000. No, they remained 10,000, but the workers were relocated to other jobs. So the overall or total employment levels stayed the same. However, when they looked at the type of people who were impacted or people who struggled more than the others, it was the low-skilled workers. So jobs were not eliminated overall. So robots adoption did not eliminate the overall number of employed people, but the composition also changed, right? And wages, obviously nothing happened to wages because there may be small increases here and there, but most of the financial benefits actually went to the firms themselves because they're selling more at lower price. They're making big bucks, but you as an employee, at the end of the day, they supplemented you with robots or with AI and increased your productivity. So your wage is not, or your salary is not going to be change much, right? And then for consumers, this is a good win. Obviously, the cost of producing decreased. So, and I had this discussion with Ferry on a podcast recently, Ferry Cazzaroni, if you're familiar with him. So he adopts AI in his agency, and he gave this example. If you have an employee who is able to produce 5 reports per month, with AI, they can do 15. So now the cost per report is lower. And when the cost per report is lower, that means more people are going to be able to afford buying those services, right? So it's cheaper for the consumer. However, it's going to increase the demand. More people are going to be interested. And because more people are going to be interested, the business owners are going to be the winners, right? So, as I said, just replace the word robots adoption with AI adoption in everything I said. this study, while it's focused on robots adoption, it's just telling the story of how AI revolution and the adoption of AI is going to pan out. It's probably going to be very similar, a very similar pattern. So, and we've seen examples, right? We've seen a Shopify CEO, for example, talking about how using AI is mandatory for all employees. And then we also know that, and I think I've spoken about that before, using AI for the sake of using AI, saying, hey, I'm using AI, I'm automating things, will not make you more productive. You need to actually find a good use case for AI. And then your skill set and experience are your main protection against layoffs. So if you're low skilled, yes, you are at a very big risk of getting replaced by AI. And then do not expect obviously bigger salary, and good news for firm owners. So business owners should encourage their teams to adopt AI because it's going to make them more efficient and improve their output, increase their output, and obviously make them able to offer more at a lower price. And if you want to be employable, if you want to maintain having an edge in the market, having those AI skills of automation and getting things done, maybe building small DIY SEO tools can put you in a higher skill bracket, right? So that's that. The study is very interesting. And this is how I project the AI adoption era we're going through is going to look like years from now. Hope you like this video and see you next one. Bye.